Are you hungry but only have 30 minutes to meal prep? Then download my new e-cookbook, What to Meal Prep, at successfitnessstore.com. You will get 3 step-by-step written and visual recipes for one high-protein meal that's under 600 calories. I'll help you cook fresh salmon, steam fresh broccoli, and quinoa in under 30 minutes to help you stay on track of your fitness goals. So go to successfitnessstore.com to download your copy today. Welcome to the Success Fitness Podcast. I am your host, Christian Evans. This podcast is about helping improve our relationship with nutrition and exercise to achieve success in our fitness journey. And our special guest today, Antonio Lowery, will help us do just that by sharing his story of how the fear of a heart attack and the fear of diabetes motivated him to lose 153 pounds. Without further ado, Success Fitness family, please welcome Antonio to the podcast. How you doing, Antonio?
I'm pretty good. Hello, everybody. I definitely appreciate being here.
No problem. Yeah, this is just a way to just give you your flowers while you're here, to just make sure that I show personally my appreciation for somebody who has walked the walk and talked the talk, and especially who has lost this amount of weight or just lost weight. Then on top of that, this massive amount of weight. I've been there. I understand those ups and downs you're going through, dealing with the new body, but still having kind of the same mindset of kind of like looking at yourself and like, okay, what is this all about? And then the excitement of losing the weight and just going and testing your body kind of like a new car, how fast can I run? How much can I lift? So I appreciate you for, being disciplined to yourself. And this is why I wanted you on the podcast. So tell everybody where you're from and what made you get started on your fitness journey.
So I've always kind of been into fitness. I'm from Beloit, Wisconsin, a small town. A lot of stuff goes on there, though. I had a lot of violence when I was a kid that happened. But I was always in sports, football, running, stuff like that. It was probably when I was about 21 years old, I started gaining weight. And I never really thought of it as a bad thing. I was just like, well, the rest of my family's big. That means I'm going to be big, And I guess it got to the point, I had lost weight before the first time, but it was kind of in a bad way. I was kind of starving myself. Mm-hmm. I wasn't really disciplined with the gym. I wasn't even going to the gym. I was just not eating and just drinking water. And I lost a lot of weight. I went down about 220 pounds. And then about 2 years after that, I gained it all back. And this time I kept going. So at that time, my heaviest was 360 pounds.
So you're 360 pounds. And what's your height?
I am 6 foot.
Okay, 6 foot. Okay. Just give things in the context, because people can say, 330, but 330 at 5'3" is different than 6 foot,
Right.
Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. But then, so I gained it all back, and then I got up to 408 pounds as of last year in about November. I weighed myself, I looked in the mirror, I took a picture of myself, and I could see just how beat up I was mentally and definitely physically, because all that extra weight, it was just putting weight on my knees. They were hurting. My ankles were hurting. My back was hurting. I was just, the normal everyday things that people kind of take for granted of, I was having problems doing. I threw out my back when I tried to tie my shoes.
Wow.
Like it was bad. So it was in November, I decided I'm going to take steps to figure out how I can lose this weight. So I started just by going to the gym. Let me go in here and see what I can do. I was already strong. I've always been strong. So I did strength training for an hour, and then I'd get on the treadmill for an hour. Don't get me wrong, it was very hard on the treadmill because of my knee.
Right.
But after a while, it just kind of, I think I started out at like 2.5 speed, and a little bit of an incline, maybe a 2, and I walked for about like 30 minutes. I did that for about a month. Then I went up. I just kept on progressing. Then I went up to an hour. And by that time, I was doing 3 miles a day just on the treadmill. Also going out for walks and enjoying nature because I love nature. So as I got into it, I started seeing changes. Not on the scale.
Right.
At first, all I seen was my body changing. I was like, oh, okay, well, this is cool. Like, I'm starting to see different things, but I kind of dealt with gym anxiety because at that time I was so big, and the gym that I was going to was kind of like a bodybuilding gym.
Right.
So going there in there was it's kind of nerve wracking. But I'd put my headphones in, I'd have a hoodie on, put my hood up, and I just kept going and going and going. And then I think it was about 3 months in, it was almost like a whole lifestyle change.
Right.
It went from yeah, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing this, but it kind of went into I'm doing this for myself. I'm not doing this for other people. You know what I mean? And for a while, I think I was just trying to people please. Now I've figured out that it's just for me. So I just kept going. And then 3 months in, the discipline came in to where I was eating correctly. I was only eating one meal a day for I think like 7 months. I was eating one meal a day, but I'd make sure that I got 14 to 1500 calories in during that meal. And I just kept going. And now I'm down to this morning 255 pounds.
Awesome.
And my whole body, my figure, everything is different. My personality is different.
Right.
My how I was so beat up mentally then, I'm a lot stronger now because of this journey, you know. And I think the self-love was kind of the biggest part for me in it, just because I looked at myself then and I was just like, I'm not happy with where I'm at, you know? Right. And now I can look at myself in the mirror and it's kind of like, oh, I like what I look like. I'm like, hey, I love this. Right. Exactly. And the confidence came back. So
I got you.
Kind of where I'm at now.
I got you. Now you mentioned about you finally kind of got back on track as far as with your eating. What were some of the things that you ate going, I guess, up in weight? You know, you mentioned about when you lost, a fair amount of weight at one point in time, and then you said you gained it all back, plus some more. Just what were some of the things that you ate during that time when you were, gaining weight?
When I was gaining weight, I didn't have any calorie counting, none of that stuff. So I was literally just eating whatever I wanted. So like how a normal person, well, not a normal person, just how a person would go into, let's say, to get tacos. They'd get like a meal, you get 3 tacos, your beans and rice. Well, me, I would have to have 6 tacos, extra beans, extra rice, and that's just a lot of other calories. Also, I was drinking a lot of beer, which I figured out that's a lot of empty calories with no nutrition,
Right.
So I was like, well, I gotta change that up. So I took out all that stuff. And then during that time, I just ate whatever I wanted, truthfully. I'd probably eat like 6-7 times a day. And we're not talking snacks, we're talking probably.
You're talking like meals, right.
And yes, right, exactly. It wasn't just like, and then like when I first started losing weight, I did such a drastic change to my body that instantly my body was like, oh, so we don't need all this,
Right.
And then it just everything started coming off me.
Right. So how did you make that transition? Like what was, let's say 3 to 4 weeks, you're going from, let's say, a full meal 7 times a day with like 6 tacos is an example of one of them. What was it like that first, say, like, 3 to 4 weeks when you're like, okay, I have to make a change to my diet? What were some of the things that you end up, I guess I like to call like diet like replacement, because sometimes when you hear the word diet is full just restriction. And us as humans, as soon as you tell us we can't do anything, what do? We start doing it. Yeah. So I try to put it in a good form. So what were some of the things you replaced that excessive eating with?
So one thing I replaced it with was water.
Okay.
Much water as I could basically get in myself. I figured out that if I drank more water, that the less hungry I was.
Right.
So in the morning, I wouldn't eat anything. I'd maybe have like a glass of coffee or something like that, maybe an energy drink or something like that, very low cal. And then the first 4 weeks was, I can't lie, it was super hard. It was super hard just mentally, because you're so used to just being able to consume whatever you want. And then it goes to a point where it's like, okay, now I'm dieting, but I'm also at this time I was restricting, everything, because all I was looking at was I was calorie counting, and then I was looking at how much protein I was getting, how much fiber I was getting, what kind of sugars was going into my body,
Right.
salt, sodium intake, everything.
Right.
And that kind of helped, to be honest. But
Right.
I
And
can't
how
lie,
did
I
you
was
get to
hungry.
that part though? Like, did you kind of already have a sense of knowing how to be aware and be attentive of tracking, macros and calories, or did you have help? Was it there's like a nutritionist involved, or was it just like YouTube or something like that? How did you
Right,
have the know all
right,
to like, okay, you know what? Maybe six tacos isn't it. And then you start
right.
realizing, like, okay, this is a numbers game. Like, how did you even arrive to
Yes.
that point?
I got to that point by watching a lot of YouTube videos. For
Okay.
one,
Okay.
I kind of always like watching like bodybuilding videos and stuff like that and seeing what
Anybody in
they ate.
particular?
I say Kai Green.
Yeah,
Kai
yeah.
Green,
Kai, yeah, it's
I
got a
love
good, you
his
got a lot of good
content.
info.
He's such a humble person
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, I watch Kai
But
too.
I started watching some of his stuff and seeing that like it really depends on what is in your body and like
Right,
how you feel your body. The way I
right,
look at it now is my body is like a car. You're not going to overgas your car. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to keep going until the gas comes out of it. You don't need all that fuel. So that's kind of how I started thinking about my body. And then
gotcha.
I started getting to the calorie counting and the number game with my fitness pal. I
Okay,
started using that and I would
good.
use it every day
Religiously.
consistently.
Good,
Yes.
good,
And then
good.
also my fitness pal has a thing where you can take before and after pictures. So
Okay,
at
okay.
first I was taking a picture weekly and just seeing where it was going. And I wasn't seeing too much progress. So I stopped doing it weekly and I started taking pictures like every 2, 3 weeks. And I started seeing changes. That's when I kind of figured out that maybe where my calories were at, maybe was too low. Cause at that
Gotcha.
time it was probably only like 900 to 1,000 calories. I was like, this is too low. I don't have
Yeah,
energy because I'm
yeah,
still
because the
big. So I need that
right,
energy.
right, because you
Right.
pretty much just went what I would call just full extreme. Just full
Yes,
extreme. Just you go from
exactly.
six tacos to just like what, I'm just having a slice of
One.
bread. Yeah, or like you
Yeah,
say, just one.
exactly.
There's no in
Exactly.
between. So I get it.
Right.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So that was difficult, but with my fitness pal that helped out a lot because then
Okay.
it kind of showed me what I could have, what was healthy stuff, what alternative options I had to the stuff that I like, I liked pop at that time. Now I barely ever drink pop, but if I do, I go for a Diet Coke or something diet.
Gotcha.
Um, with food though, at that time, I almost got down to I was eating 16 ounces of chicken breast,
Okay.
2 cups of rice,
Okay.
and one bag of frozen vegetable, whatever kind I wanted. So whatever I
Good.
felt like.
I got you. I got you. Did those
And
like those frozen vegetables work where you kind of just pop them right in the microwave for like 2 minutes or whatever?
yes,
I got you. I
yep,
got you.
yep.
Yeah, those are clutch,
The
man.
quick, easy,
Yeah,
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 quick,
super
easy.
clutch,
I need my
man.
fiber. Here we go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love that. And like I said, then it was almost like I started disciplining myself. I started figuring out like that I can do this.
Right,
Like my body doesn't need all this food. And then it got to the point where I wasn't really hungry anymore. And the only time I ate was when I was actually hungry. And I think that's a lot of times what people problems is too, is they eat over stress or boredom and they're not actually even hungry. Another thing too is dehydration. A lot of
right.
people walk around dehydrated all day, every day, which makes you feel hungry. More water you
Definite,
got in you, you know what I'm saying?
definite,
You're hydrated. Now
definite.
all them hormones are gone and you're not
Right,
really that
right. My
hungry,
mom
you
used to
know?
tell me that when I was younger. I'm like, I'm hungry. Drink some water, And
Yeah.
now when you get older, that pops in my head because it's. I mean, here's my water. I've been babysitting today too.
Okay.
But it is
Yes.
true because you get hungry and then like you drink
Yep.
some water. You're like, okay. Then you keep drinking, 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 and you're like, oh, okay, I'm all right.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
hungry monster has kind of gone away a little bit or just set
Right.
to the side, even if it's for 30 minutes. It's like during
Right.
those 30 minutes, you can think out a little bit better. It's like, let me not jump in my car and just run over
Run,
to
grab
Wendy's.
something.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Let me
Yep.
just like, okay, I do have some chicken breasts in there that I meal prepped last night. And I do have some rice
Exactly.
and I do have a bag of frozen vegetables. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It helps you think
Yep.
because when you're hungry, you want something,
Quick,
right
right?
there, right there, right
Right.
there. And you
And
mentioned that disciplining yourself helped keep you going. And that was one of the toughest obstacles that you had. Can you expand more on that?
I would say the reason that it was hard for me is because when I was that big, I was in pain all the time. So
Gotcha.
like it was really hard to push through them days where I did not want to do anything. Like,
Gotcha.
my knees hurt so bad that I just didn't want to do anything.
Right.
So on those days, I had to make myself almost, like, hey, we're going to go to the gym. Even if it's not for the 2 hours that I'm usually there, we're still going there for at least 30 minutes. We're going to hop on this treadmill and do some walking. We're
I
going to do
gotcha.
something today to get me going,
I gotcha.
And I think that was the hardest thing with the discipline, was just the pain that I had to go through.
Yeah, that initial pain when you said
Right.
about the treadmill, it literally put, as clear as I can see you right now, I can see
Right.
myself on the treadmill going from like 3.0 to like 3.7. And I was just so excited from going
Yeah.
from 3.0 to 3.7 because I experienced the same
Right.
thing, pain in my
Yep.
knee when I'm moving, but it's like, I need to get this weight off, but I need to
Right.
move in order to get this weight off. How does this
Gotcha.
equation equate out? And it's like,
Right.
you're just gonna have to toughen up a little bit. Yes, it's gonna be painful, but
Yep.
on days after me doing that, I felt a little bit better. So it's like,
Yes.
if I can capitalize off of the incremental change of feeling good, then
Right.
it gave me enough hope to go back the next day. So even if it is like, okay, you're going from 3.0 to where like that was almost like running to me
Right.
at that time, to say, you know what,
Yep.
if I can do at least like 30 seconds at 3.7, then I'm good.
Right.
And then like
Yep.
within, say, like, you give yourself 15 minutes, and it's like, okay, day one, let me try it at least one time. Day two, let me try to, jog at least 2 times.
Yep.
Day three, let me
Yep.
try to jog at least like 3 times for 30 seconds. And then you keep
Right.
pushing yourself. It's like, okay, if I did 30
And it
seconds,
just keeps
I can
getting
do
better
60.
and better and
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Definite,
Yep.
definite.
I love it.
So
I love it.
when you said that, that just literally just sent me just right there. So I can,
Yep.
I could identify exactly what you were talking about there.
Exactly. Exactly. And then I think another thing that helped me out too is at the beginning of this year, a lot of people were asking me how I was doing. How was I losing weight? Because they've been trying so hard and they haven't been able to do it. And I was like, well, I think it'd be cool to actually help people. You know what I'm saying? Help people reach their goals mentally and physically, in a way.
Right.
And I was like, I'm gonna go be a personal trainer.
Okay.
So I set out in February of this year to become a personal trainer.
Okay.
I became certified through ISSA, and then I'm also certified.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I'm also certified as a nutritionist now through
Okay.
ISSA.
Okay. Double
So,
congrats. Double congrats.
right.
And you know what? That brings up a good point. Can you expand the difference between a personal trainer and a nutritionist as far as a certified one? Can you expand more on that and why you decided to get a cert in nutrition?
So personal training was kind of my focus at first. That's what I wanted to do. The difference between a personal trainer and a nutritionist is a nutritionist is going to suggest different meal plans. Well, not really meal plans, but meal suggestions, right? Because we're not dietitians, so I can't give you a meal plan. I can't tell you what to eat.
Exactly.
But I can explain to you what stuff is doing to your body and what the other stuff will do to your body. You know what I'm saying? Just simple changes in your diet can make huge, huge room for other things to happen. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But the nutritionist I wanted to start doing because I wanted to learn more about food, to be honest. Because, the 1 meal a day thing was cool, but I'm telling you, eating chicken for 8 months straight, it's like, I would like to eat something different.
It gets kind of old, man. It's like, is there anything else? Is there anything else to help me, please?
Exactly. Like, it's a good protein source. I like it, but I want to learn about other foods. So when I became a nutritionist, I started learning about stuff that I didn't even know was even a thing. You know what I'm saying? It was interesting at first because I started learning about fiber and how good that is for you, and then the protein on top of that. But then I also learned about different types of protein.
Okay.
Different types of proteins that you eat do different things to your body. You know what I mean?
I got you.
And like a lot of times it's hormone levels that are in our bodies that are changing constantly because of what we're eating. When you see foods that are non-GMO and all that stuff's good because they don't have all the hormones that they put in other meats or anything like that.
Right. And you bring up a good point about hormonal changes, and everybody's bodies responds differently to said hormonal changes or reactions that therefore then causes those changes. Because contrary to popular belief, you may have somebody maybe questioning, okay, that person's, they almost seem hooked to a certain food. Why can't they give this up? And if their body is going through a hormonal reaction, then there's a possibility that hormonal reaction is tied to the mental aspect of it, to almost become like addicting to the body craves for it. They may not even know. It's like, I don't even know why I keep going back to, put my hand in this, and this bowl. Yeah. You just do it. You just do it. So
it's kind of like drinking caffeine.
Yeah,
it's kind of like drinking caffeine. I know a lot of people. Some people tell me, "Well, I got a headache today," and I'm like, "Well, did you drink any caffeine today?" And they're like, "No." I was like, "Well, that means you need to probably slow down on the caffeine for a while." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
your body come back to normal levels.
Definite. Speaking of caffeine, I've had my first cup of coffee today in about 2 or 3 weeks. About good 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm somebody for the last 5 years had a cup of coffee, just 1 cup in the morning every day. But I was trying to just figure out my body. My body was going through some type of weird I was fighting off something. Come to find out, I knew what the source was. But during that time when I didn't know what the source was, I tried to eliminate everything. Kind of like what you're saying. It's like, okay, I went from, eating 6 meals a day to just 1. I can go from here to like there, just like that, and I'm like, okay, let me cut this coffee off, even though, that wasn't the source. I'm just trying to figure out what is making my body react. Right. So, I didn't have the caffeine headaches because I never wanted to get that deep in the coffee to where I would have a headache if I didn't drink it, but I totally get what you're saying, because coffee can be, addictive to certain people. But like we were talking about earlier, what did you replace it with? So what I replaced my coffee with, I'm going on a tangent, is some fresh pressed juices, so as soon as I wake up, I end up drinking some of my juices before I drink water. It's just fruits and vegetables, but it's
vitamin C is a great natural caffeine. I'm telling you, it really is.
Man. And I've learned that about myself. I'm like, okay, you can discipline yourself back to, what you used to do before this. And now coffee is good, but it's like, I don't earn for it like I used to. And as long as I have, myself prepared, then I can ensure more success, or a higher chance of success, of just trying to stay on point as far as with that. So how long did it take you to get your certification for nutrition?
For nutrition, it took me 4 months.
Okay.
4 months for that. And then my CPT, I think, were like 4 or 5 months also.
Okay.
It was a lot of work, a lot of grinding, a lot of book, because I also worked too at the same time as a handyman. So I'm like, I was doing a lot,
But you're super active. Yeah, you're doing a lot.
Super active, yes.
Yeah.
I went from zero activity. I used to just sit in the house. I didn't want to do anything, I just basically not do anything, super depressed, to, okay, it's time to go out here and find who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It really was. It was time to see who I was. And just keeping myself busy, I feel helps me, but it helps other people more. I like helping other people. That's kind of the goal. You know what I mean?
Good.
Loving each other is kind of the goal of everything. That's how it should be. But
now, did you discover more of this aspect about yourself? Because I personally believe, the ability to help people, it's inside of everybody, but everybody's kind of closed off for various reasons. And did you find, once you lost weight and going through your journey, did you find yourself expanding more on that area of your life? And the reason why I'm asking, try to at least give a reason why I'm asking questions, is because I know I experienced that. Because when you're heavy, I was just angry just for no reason, because just angry, because you're in pain. Like you talked about the knees. You're just mad, so you end up throwing your pain off on somebody else. But as the weight comes down and the pain, subsides, or the inflammation reduces, you're like, okay, I don't feel the need to slap anybody today for no reason. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you're like, okay, I can help you. Okay, I'll listen. Yeah.
Like, so did you find
Did you find yourself doing that more after you lost the weight? Okay.
Yes. I found myself like stopping I'd be driving down the road and like there'd be a branch on the road. I found myself stopping on the side of the road, jump out, make sure there was no cars coming, make sure I'm safe, grab the branch out of it, you know. Just random stuff. Like it was kind of random stuff that I could do with my strength. Like if somebody needed help fixing something, I'll come over and help you. You need help lifting your furniture, I'm coming to help you, you know, that type of stuff. And it made me feel good too at you know, in a way, because I'm like, I can use what I've built to help somebody else. You know, and I love it.
Yeah, my heart is not beating 1,000 miles an hour if I got to squat down to pick up something. Trust me. Yeah, I know that whole feeling. It's a relief. It's like, oh my goodness, and you know, then you kind of beat yourself up from the standpoint of ignorance of like not knowing at the time on how detrimental or how important it is to feel like how you feel right now, and how long you know you were not feeling that good because of you know weight gain or whatever. You know, I have those moments too, but then you're like, okay, you know, I just had to go through that lesson. You had to go through that lesson to be able to appreciate it, you know, a little bit more right now. And you talk about you know, even with that, you know, going through the journey, understanding the lesson as far as when you're losing weight. What were some of the strength training exercises that you love doing the most? Like, what's a typical day for you right now, as far as working out? And like, how many days a week, or how much time has it increased or decreased from when you first started dropping weight?
From when I first started to now, it's kind of decreased a little bit. Not because the only reason it's decreased is because I was kind of overdoing it when I first started. I would go Monday through Sunday. Sunday, yes, I wouldn't do no strength training, but I'd still be on the treadmill for an hour. You know what I mean? Doing stretches and stuff like that. But now a normal day to me, I go Monday through Friday. I go Monday chest, Tuesday shoulders or back, Wednesday shoulders or back, and then Thursday legs, Friday full body workout, Saturday is abs and arms. So, and then Sunday I've started doing yoga now. To like do more stretching. So I started doing yoga on Sundays, and I love it. I love it. But my favorite workout, I can't lie, is bench press.
Bench press.
I always loved bench press. I've always been good at it. I got really broad shoulders, so I can lift a lot. You know?
What have you maxed out at?
405.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
And that started out from 168 or something like that. I think I was lifting when I first started.
I got you. So, I got you. So congratulations on that, because that's a heavy amount of weight. That's a heavy, the most, like I've gotten 405 like halfway off my chest, but hit the sticking point. So even with that, I've been going back to like rack presses or pin presses or whatever, dead presses, 1,000 different
next motion.
Yes. And it's tough. And it's tough. And you realize how important it is to be balanced as far as like, you know, in your triceps when we're talking about bench pressing. In your shoulders, as far as your shoulder health. And on top of that is probably about the last like 2 years, you know, you said your favorite muscle group exercises, anything to do with chest. Lately, mine has become back, because now I realize I need my traps, I need my rear delts, your lats for bench pressing. You know, because at first, you know, I would be just shaking like that. Because
your back's ain't as strong as your chest. You know? You need to have them rhomboids back there. You gotta have all that muscle.
Yes. And it's that chase. It's that you know, how much do I do without tiring myself or overexerting myself, so I can have enough energy, to not hurt myself or to bench heavy, you know. And then let's say you got clients that day, and it's like, okay, I need to do all of this within like 45 minutes.
Yes, definitely.
So it's a lot different from having all the time in the world to, you know, 2 hours a day working out. Used to doing that. And then now it may be restricted to maybe an hour and a half on a good day, to maybe just like a strict 60 minutes, not 61, 60. And it's like, you gotta just,
and that's literally you going in there and hitting everything.
Quick, I'm not speaking to nobody. It's headphones in.
30 seconds to a minute between rests. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Keep it going.
I got you. So what's your least favorite exercise?
Least favorite exercise? I'll probably say squats. I'll probably say squats. But I love them. It's a love-hate relationship.
Me too,
squats,
bro.
Right?
Me too.
That's how it is.
Me
Because
too.
it feels so good afterwards. But
Yeah.
when you're doing them, it's like, oh, why do I do these today?
Yeah. Me too, man.
But that comes back to the same with balance. You know what I'm saying? If you want your upper body strong, you got to have a strong lower body too at the same time.
And that's
you know?
important too with bench pressing too.
Yes.
Like personally, I've just been working on different things in my form, just trying to press off my legs and making sure I'm flexing my quads when I'm benching.
Getting
And
that
I've
up
noticed,
press.
yes,
Yep.
to kind of helps me dig my back into the bench with a a proper arch. I'm not a big archer.
Right.
I
Me
used to
neither.
be a big archer. I threw out my back years ago, young. There's so many different key points that you need to hit on that it is important to, like you said, you watch the bodybuilders and you look for different things.
Yes.
We've seen 1,000 bicep curl videos, 1,000 bicep or tricep press outs or squat videos, but there's always different philosophy through something. So you're constantly learning.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, it's not even so much you may be looking for a different routine. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't think about pairing, core and biceps together, but hey, here we are. You start figuring out, like, okay, I breathe differently, like here, or let me try cardio before weights or after, whatever. That just keeps you new and keeps you fresh and keep you
changes it up.
It changes it up.
Right. Muscle confusion. That's what a lot of people talk about. It's muscle confusion.
Yeah,
Confusing the muscle.
Yeah.
And that's one way to do it. It's like, well, today now I'm gonna go at it and I'm gonna go cardio first, right? That tires you out. And that tires you out. So by the time you start doing strength training, your muscles are already kind of tired. That sometimes helps because now you're confusing the muscle on, oh, we still have to do this. I thought we already did that because we did cardio. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's all about changing it.
Exactly. So what major lesson did you learn about yourself when you reached your goal that you can share with those looking for inspiration?
That I'm stronger than I thought I was. Okay. That's probably, yes, I'm way stronger than I thought I was. At that time, I didn't think I could do it. Like, to be honest with you, I did not think I could. When I got to 408, I'm like, man, this is gonna take forever. This is gonna take years, this is good.
Yeah.
And then everything I started thinking, well, it didn't take me 6 months to get this big. It took me years to get this big.
Important.
You know what I mean? So
important.
Exactly. So just going through that's one thing I learned about myself. Another thing I think I learned about myself is I'm very spiritual. Like I started getting into meditating. That helped me out with my anger because I had a lot of anger when I was big.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with it. I was in the gym and I was getting out that way, but there was still something in there.
Right.
So I started getting into spiritual stuff, meditating and burning sage and yoga, doing stuff like that. And I enjoy it. I really do. And just meditating once a day has literally opened doors for me on, what I'm saying, in life. Because I have time to think about everything that's happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not always like just instantly reacting.
Boom.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because I attribute that to a lot of kind of negative stuff. But I say, you learn the positivity in it afterwards, but a lot of negative stuff when I was heavier because you're so defensive.
Anything.
Anything can set you off. Somebody looking at you in a different way. They could be looking at you because it's like, whoa, that is a big guy. He's 6 foot, and he's, over, 370 pounds or whatever the case may be. That is a lot, literally and figuratively to look at to any person, and especially somebody smaller than you, and you're defensive about that. You're defensive about, can people see what I feel about myself right now?
Yes.
And you're just angry about
I didn't
that.
even think of that.
Yeah. Because when you're talking about knee pain, it's like, man, you're in so much pain. It's like, I wonder, can people see the grimace on my face? And do they attribute it to, oh, he's just fat, he's just overweight or whatever? You get defensive about it. So therefore, anytime anybody says anything to you right then and there, you want to just pop off.
Yeah, you're ready.
Pop off. Yeah.
So ready.
And as we get older, you realize it's like, it ain't that deep, dog. You gotta relax.
You ain't gotta take everything personal anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It's okay to feel this thing.
Yeah. Well, man, it was great talking to you. Tell everybody where they can reach you if they want to connect with you.
All my social media handles are Fit with Tonio. You can also reach me at warriorswole.com. That is my training professional website. Get a hold of me there if you guys want any online coaching or anything, or just need my help with anything. I got you. And
Cool,
thank you for letting me be here today.
No problem, man. Again, just saluting you to that transformation that you had mentally and physically. You know, you went from, you know, overweight to fit, now personal trainer and a nutritionist, so you can help explain and help people with their fitness journey as well. And then learning to, you know, go from, you know, angry to just, hey, I'm gonna take a breather before I react.
Yeah.
And that's so important in this day and age, because with so much of the craziness that's going on, your reaction to, you know, your life depends on it. Really, like if you really think about it, from everything we just talked about it, your reaction to food, your life depends on it. Your reaction to what is being said on it, your life is on the line. You know, it's you know, it depends on it. So when you learn to kind of just calm things down, just take a breather. Take a breather. I was watching what is that? Power, the book of Canon. And it's the last episode, you know, I think it's Marvin, he's going through therapy and he had to learn how to just you know, just breathe in, just bring it back. Calm in.
Ground yourself.
That is so important. That is so important. But yeah, man, it was great having you on, Antonio. I will have every all your social media and your website to link everything back to you on in the description box down below, as far as, you know, within the podcast. And yeah, I appreciate you taking time out for me and the Success Fitness Podcast. And this brings us to the end of another episode of the Success Fitness Podcast. This show is sponsored by my new e-cookbook, What to Meal Prep for Beginners, at successfitnessstore.com. It includes 3 recipes for one high-protein meal under 600 calories, step-by-step, written instructions, video tutorials, and a free workout ebook. So get your copy today at successfitnessstore.com, and share this podcast with your loved ones who's looking for inspiration on their fitness journey. So help me reach more people like your loved ones when you help donate to my Cash App handle $Christian J. Evans. And also please join my Facebook group, Success Fitness Family. The link is in the description box below. Thank you for listening to the Success Fitness Podcast. Until the next episode, success fitness is the mindset, and remember, success is golden. # more weight. Peace out.